take 3. Again, it's so good to see everyone, and I always record this and put it on YouTube, and I put it on Facebook. It's on my Facebook page to start with, and then it ends up on George's and some other places as well. With YouTube, if you give me your email address, it's so easy with YouTube. I just hit the share button, the mail button, put your address in there, and all you have to do is click on the link, and you can watch this meeting all over again. Or you can forward it and send it to other people, because there might be some people that you're talking to that might be interested in a meeting like this. And there are so many different facets of this meeting. One of the things is that we are faith-based. And that's probably a little bit different than some of the other groups or most of the other groups. But first, a joke. Now, it's not going to start out very funny. A woman lost her husband. I know that part doesn't really get uproarious laughs, you know. She wanted to put it in the paper so that friends and family members would find out. So she called the newspaper and said, I'd like to put a notice in the paper, my husband died. What's the cheapest that I can go and put this notice in the paper? She was very frugal. He said, well, you can pay for just one line. Oh, okay, she said. Well, he said, what do you want in the paper? And she said, Frank died. And he said, well, you know, if you're going to pay for the whole line, you can have up to 5 words. Oh, she said, okay, how's this? Frank died, truck for sale. Yeah. It turned kind of funny at the end there. That's good. That's good.
Sounds like the obituary my dad had.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it. I've seen like pictures of tombstones with really funny things on them. I think they were intended to be funny in many of the cases. You know, one of them said, see, I told you I was sick. So back to the faith part. One of my favorite passages is Philippians 2. And remember, no sermons. Occupational hazard, but no sermons. Philippians 2 says, therefore, if there's any encouragement in Christ, if any consolation of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any affection and compassion, make my joy complete by being of the same mind, maintaining the same love, united in spirit, intent on one purpose. Do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility consider one another as more important than yourselves. Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interest of others. Have this attitude in yourselves, which was also in Christ Jesus. We have an opportunity every day to lift other people up and encourage them. And Miss Davis and I were talking out in the hallway a little bit ago about my mother-in-law. Passed away about 4 years ago. And Miss Davis, thank you for your encouragement and the blessing that you gave me in our conversation. George, do you want to introduce our guest speaker this evening? I told you, no sermon tonight.
First, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We're still missing probably about 3 people, so hopefully they make it in time. But it's an honor to introduce this young lady. When I first talked with her, it was kind of like they was looking for a Parkinson support group kind of in this area. And I remember her asking a question. I said, well, it's going to be a faith-based Parkinson support group. We open with scripture, we open with prayer, we close with prayer. I'm going to open with prayer. And she goes, well, can anybody come? And I said, well, if an atheist want to come, I really don't mind. And she kind of started laughing. Her knowledge of the Parkinson's disease, a knowledge of running the State of Virginia American Parkinson's Disease Association is overwhelming. She's a great speaker. She's a great friend. She's just a wonderful person. I'd like to introduce I'm just going to say Naomi with the American Parkinson's Association. Come on up, Naomi.
Hi everyone. So my name is Naomi. I'm the program director for APDA Virginia. I see some familiar faces. I've been working with George now for a couple of months. So part of my role as a program director is I help with the program. So educational programs, webinars that we do, symposiums that we plan to do in the future, starting support groups, so helping George out with his support group. If we receive any other inquiries for looking for a support group to start, I kind of help guide them in the direction. So finding a facility, finding a speaker, trying to train the facilitator to kind of guide them in the right direction. So I've been at APDA for about a year now, and I really enjoy it. So I'll kind of briefly go over some of the programs that we do offer, and I have some extra sheets and brochures in the back. So we're a statewide nonprofit. We're based in the Hampton Roads area. We recently transitioned to a statewide chapter last year. So all of our services are now statewide, and part of our goal is to provide resources. Our mission is to help those live life to the fullest. So through that, we try to work with health professionals, whether that's physical therapists, occupational therapists, mainly neurologists, because we know that it could be very overwhelming, after finding a diagnosis. It's like, hey, you have Parkinson's, okay, like what next, So we kind of want to be that kind of guiding kind of force to, okay, you have Parkinson's, what next? We're kind of here to help, so finding a support group, finding exercise classes, finding other resources throughout the community, looking for a wheelchair, we just always want to be here to help. We're a small organization, so we're nationwide, but our chapter only has 2 staff, myself and my colleague Catherine. So if you call APDA Virginia, you're probably going to get myself or my colleague. But we like the aspect of being personable. If I don't know a question, I can reach out to someone who does know the answer. I'm not a doctor. I'm familiar with Parkinson's disease and have learned a lot by working here, but if I can't answer a question, I'm happy to look where else to support the PD community. So I really have enjoyed my time here. I'm looking forward to working with George more and working with the community. Like I said, we are small, but I try to make my rounds throughout the whole state because Virginia is big and there are a lot of needs in Virginia. So I'll kind of go over some of our resources that we have. So I brought this one sheet of publications. We have over 30 publications in English, Spanish, and Mandarin. They're available on our website for free. You're able to download them or get them mailed to you for free. So I have copies of that in the back of all the publications that you're able to download. We have financial support, so we offer up to $400 in a 12-month period. And that can be used for anything Parkinson's disease, medication, exercise classes, equipment, transportation, you name it, Parkinson's disease. It is available to you, but it's one time in a 12-month period. That's also on our website. And if they're on a first come basis. So, our fiscal year started in September. So if you're looking for support, this is the time now because it ends in August, and depending on, our outreach and whatnot, we may not have the funds available. So if you're looking for support, this is the time now to do so. Support groups, as I mentioned, connecting folks with support groups and whatnot. Educational programs, so we have a monthly webinar that we do, well, I guess every other month now. Mr. Matt was there yesterday, we have one on hospice, so we do them every other month, and we try to have topics that are fast, and we did one on nutrition, we did one on intimacy, driving, so just things that can affect those with Parkinson's. We bring in, whether it's a neurologist, whether it's someone in the community, a health professional, or whatnot, every other month. And then also on our website, we have APDA has national wellness classes, so exercise, Tai Chi, yoga, you name it, all of them are free on our website. And then we also have a list of our programs that are all statewide as well. I will mention that we have a newly diagnosed program called the PRESS program. It's called the Parkinson's Roadmap for Education and Support Services. Those are for people who have been diagnosed in the last 5 years. We keep it very small and intimate because we know that sometimes we're joining support groups that people who have different stages of Parkinson's disease, and we know that if it's your first time joining a support group and newly diagnosed, it can be very overwhelming. So you want to have a small, kind of curated environment led by a social worker. And it's an 8-week course that's virtual, that's led, and it has different topics from medication management, the importance of exercise, and it kind of goes over is more of the emotional health and mental health that could be, discussed or thought about following a diagnosis. So I have sheets in the back of the programs that we offer, our resources that we offer, and our publications as well. Does anyone have any questions or anything? You have a question, George? Okay, well, I'll be here the whole evening. I have my business card. If you guys have any questions, like I said, please use us. We're here to help. We want to be here for the community or whatnot. And I get questions all the time. No question is too small or too big. And luckily, we attend other task force meetings. We try to show our face in the community. So we have other resources, and we really want to be here. So I have my cards. If you have any questions or anything, please email me, call me anytime. Yes.
Would you talk a little bit about resources for the caregivers?
Yes. So we do want to do more because we know that as a care partner, you guys are equally in this as well, and we know that you got these resources too. I can look and see. I do want to do more personally for care partners and whatnot. We don't have a care partner support group in this area. I feel like it would be nice to start one at some point, but it's really the hardest part of starting support groups is finding the facilitator. It's someone who wants to be consistent and who wants to lead, every month or whatnot. So I can get your card, get your information, and get back to you about that because I can't think of any off the top of my head in this area. I know that there are other chapters use, it's called the Power of Caregivers. It's like a virtual kind of support group guide for those with care partners. And I'm not sure if I thought about it yet for this chapter yet, but we definitely want to do more in this area. And I can try to start or look into starting a support group because I know it's definitely needed. And we're trying to start one in Richmond too. So.
You should talk about the symposium.
Which one, for Riverside?
For
Yes.
October.
Oh, yes. So we are great friends of Riverside. We actually, how did I meet them? They had a support group prior to COVID. They wanted to get it started up and running again. And I think them I met their research nurse, Jennifer. And we've partnered with them we have a women's support group that meets every month there. And then they have a support group that meets every first Tuesday of the month. So they're trying to get their Parkinson's kind of education back and consistent again since COVID. So we partnered with them and the Parkinson Foundation to do symposium. It's October 14th from 12:30 to 4:30. I'm happy to send the flyer. It's on our website as well on the front page. And you can register online. But they have two doctors, Dr. Butler, Dr. Bajan. Dr. Bajan's very nice. He did an education program for us last month. So we're really excited, and we plan to be there with education resources too. So if you're free October 14th, I hope to see you guys there. And they're doing 2 lectures, and they're focusing on exercise and physical therapy. So, any other questions for me? Well, perfect. Well, I have information. I'll leave my card here as well. So, thank you.
Every Saturday, I tell everybody I'm at Yorktown Beach, and I've been really fortunate to have Jennifer and her great husband Bert, who's kind of like I call all the guys here like a brother from another mother from me, except the pastor. He's like, I don't want to call a pastor like that, brother like that. I'm kidding.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
But not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before that, we was together, and he read something. Well, it actually reads itself, and it almost brought tears to my eyes because it deals with Parkinson's. One of the reasons why I actually wanted to bring this group together One, get God involved more. I didn't know nothing about what I was going through. I was angry. I was upset. I think I went through every grief you possibly could go through. I went through it. I just got my daughter and son jobs on Langley Air Force Base, and I hadn't been out there in a while, and people was walking up and like, George, what happened to you? And where you been? And we thought you moved out of the area, because I just shut myself off. Because I didn't know what was going on. Something Naomi said that we had 2 cancellations tonight. Actually, the book law firm was coming, but their office, 3 people came down with COVID, so they actually called and was like, George, we're thinking about y'all, so we're not going to come. And I actually told them thank you, because I can't take the vaccine. I can't take the flu shot. For some reason I'm allergic to them. But I want to get Dirk up here because he texted me something last night, and I was when I heard this, I said you should play this at the next meeting, because I think it deals with everybody in this room. Now, there's one thing I'm going to say. We have some caregivers in here, and I think some of them just want to just kind of just jump out that window, open that door, and just run down the road and be like, I'm free for a little while. So I think in the future, what we might do is let the caregivers actually leave the room. Because before the meeting ends, and I see this young lady, she nodding her head like,
It was because I felt like maybe they wanted to say something that they didn't want somebody else to hear about. Maybe.
Well, and totally, I can understand that. See, I don't have a caregiver or a care partner. I have 2 children, a 19 and a 20-year-old. And half of y'all met my children. And their denial in what I have is overwhelming. My daughter will not to this moment accept I have Parkinson's. Now, in a faith base, I'm not going to claim I have Parkinson's. The exercises, and one of the things that, I've talked to a lot of people about water therapy and strengthening ankles, but I just went from physical therapy to OT. I couldn't lift a 3 5-pound weight. I'm working out with 5-pound weights. I got some definition. I can't wait to hit the beach next summer. I'm kidding. My point is this, and I was talking to Joe one time. He couldn't make one of the meetings, and he was cutting grass and working on the house, and I'm thinking to myself, I wish I could do that. I was actually like, I wish I could do stuff. I actually told him, I was like, if you ever need any help, at that time, I couldn't, I'd be trying to hit a hammer and knock a hole in the wall, and he'd be fussing at me. But anyway, make a long story short. And then I saw my friend Leroy last meeting, and water therapy, he's walking stronger and better. My point is this. If you're going to sit around and have a pity party, then that's the wrong attitude. Why we have this faith base is because I keep telling myself, I may have Parkinson's, but the Parkinson's ain't got me, Jesus got me. And I wanted to say that, so Dirk, I'm going to let you come up and play what you played, because it was so meaningful that I've been thinking about it ever since, and I plumb forgot about it until you texted me last night. So come on up and play what you played.
Sure. I don't know why I haven't done anything all day.
And I see those little steps. Jessica said, think big. So I want to see some big steps.
Tell them again.
Okay.
Sure. I had COVID shot last night. Yesterday.
Oh yeah, we went and took that lady's COVID shot.
So that kind of hurts my boxing.
Tourists taking photos that are analyzed so researchers can help life underwater flourish.
I didn't say that big, but okay.
I like it
I'm
so far.
saving with Liberty Mutual, Mom. They customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. You could save $700 just by switching.
Oh, let me put a reminder on my phone. On the top.
Mine began with a toe tremor, the rhythmic twitching. Mine began with a toe tremor, the rhythmic twitching of my left big toe. This adventure, this journey, this nightmare. It is so very public, yet not understood. It has brought much joy and a public airing of pain. You are constantly moving, rarely at rest, thus you want to sit still, quiet, in the shadows. You want to hide. You stutter, you slur your speech. What? Are you drunk? You want to hide. You want to run away. It is embarrassing. It is anxiety. It is depression. It's Resadulin and Mirapex. It's DBS and Duodopa. It's levodopa. It's orthostatic hypotension, dizziness. It's constant movement, shakiness, tremors, dyskinesias. It is so very hard. We call it Parkinson's. Mine began in August of 2010. I was sitting in my kitchen reading the Saturday morning paper when a new thought, the first realization that my left big toe was twitching. We call it Parkinson's. It is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that results in the decreased production of dopamine in the substantia nigra portion of the brain. The nurse in me can quote with ease the Cold theorem. It is a nerve disease of the brain. It will get worse with time, guaranteed. It results in the inability to create a chemical called dopamine. I need that chemical. I need it so that my body will move correctly. How you doing? I'm great. Can't stop moving. Can't lift my left foot. You look really good. I'm good. Spent the morning crying. Couldn't get out of bed. Didn't want to come to work. The Amazing Race Canada. A reality television show. Season number 1. 10,000 teams vying to be one of 9 selected. Why in the world would they choose me? Well, she said, the love of my life, the mother of my children, and this Amazing Race fanatic said, they love parent-child teams. They will love that you are both named Tim, and I guarantee you, she says, you will get an interview. They will love your Parkinson's. Well, she was right, as usual. We did, my son and I, indeed get the interview and ultimately the casting call. We made it on the Amazing Race Canada because of our singular name, the Tims, and this thing called Parkinson's. We had the opportunity to run the length and the breadth of this magnificent nation, from Kelowna to Cape Spear, Newfoundland, from Iqaluit to Regina, Saskatchewan. We came away with a win of $500,000 in cash and prizes and the championship of season number 1 of the Amazing Race Canada. So now tell me, how do you bring these two worlds together? This oil and water, a nightmarish diagnosis that has gotten you onto Canada's most successful reality show. How do you relate to a new best friend whom you hate? This new friend called Parkinson's that has brought so much good into your world and yet holds every probability of wrecking your life. Well, you start by introducing your friend Parkinson's to your friend Perseverance. Two friends whom you hold close while hating the one and holding little love for the other, yet you will hold to both because in one instance you have no choice, and in the other, survival will only be had if you do. Perseverance. To carry on in a course of action, even in the face of difficulty, with little or no evidence of success. To persevere. The race has taught me what it means to persevere. For you see, throughout the course of the race, the Tims were chronically lost. Yet we somehow survived through leg 8. Leg 9 began with a foot race from a ferry to 3 waiting vehicles. Each vehicle would carry 1 team, save the last, which would carry 2. Each vehicle would depart 15 minutes apart, giving the lead vehicle a 30-minute head start over the last. We wanted vehicle number 1. It was ours. We knew we could beat the other teams in a foot race, no problem. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, that day in Newfoundland, 4 teams came barreling off a ferry and reached the terminal entrance doors all at the same time. Pushing and shoving, we fight to get through. Once inside the terminal buildings under construction, on the right, a single man door. Another fight to get through ensues. A quick glance to the left, and another set of doors. Now, I had seen the vehicles. They are directly out that door and to the right. I do the math. Through the doors, hard right, across the parking lot. It's slightly further, but I'm much faster. I can do it. My head swivels right to left. As my gaze sweeps right to left, and my body tilts in the full swing for the doors, I notice a look on the terminal guard's face. It's a look of concern. And as she's saying, "No," I bolt for the door, through 2 sets of glass, hard right, lean full into a sprint for the vehicles. There they are. No. Behind a 7-foot tall, barbed wire topped fence. Genius turns to stupid, and I am lost again. I turn and run back through the terminal, jog quickly towards the vehicles. There's no hurry. I'm last. Tim Jr. is completely perplexed. Where did you go?
Watch football all season long, live and cable-free with YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
Before it finishes,
I explain. He's angry. We speak little.
No, I just wanted to say so far, hopefully everybody in this room that has Parkinson's understand the beginning of his perseverance to fight. I know we got a Marine in here, we got an Air Force, we got some Navy in here. We don't know not how to fight. We've been fighting all our lives and all our careers. This is why I wanted, but we're gonna let him finish this. Because this is for us and for your caregivers sitting beside you. So they're at the finish line. No matter what you go through, always remember this. Please finish it.
A little bit the rest of the day. If you followed our race, you will know that this is merely one of many moments where the Tims made their way towards a championship while never showing any evidence of success. Rarely was it pretty, but day after day, we chose to persevere. We chose to carry on in our course of action, even in the face of difficulty, even when there was little evidence of success. We had also committed to one another. You see, there was going to be no airing of dirty laundry on camera. We would take care of our stuff in private and move forward from there. We would move forward as a community of two. It was father and son against the world. And you see, my journey with Parkinson's is no different. Your journey is no different. We need community. We cannot live successfully in isolation. We need our people, we need our community if we're going to live our best. Men are generally diagnosed with Parkinson's at a rate of 2 to 1 versus women. It is typically an older gentleman's disease. Typically, people with Parkinson's are retired. It is your grandfather's disease. They are retired, they have seen their children grow, and they have achieved their freedom 55. You, on the other hand, are left wondering if you're going to be able to pay the mortgage. Parkinson's is most often, can be, quite embarrassing. We are from time to time confused for being drunk. We stutter, we slur our speech, we even drool. We stumble, have difficulty moving our limbs in a coordinated fashion. We are slow and we fall. Parkinson's is generally understood in terms of the shaking, the tremor that you see. Rarely is it understood that even in young onset, there can be significant cognitive and emotional difficulties. It can be difficult to remember things, like long speeches. There can be obsessive compulsive behaviors. There is depression. Add to this the cumulative effect that it has on spouses, children, careers, and is it any wonder that we want to hide? Yet we shouldn't. We can't. We need community, and then we need together to remember. Almost 2 years has slipped by since the race, and I from time to time look back and ask myself, how in the world did we do it? And I am reminded that together we chose to persevere. I am reminded that there are so many opportunities for us to simply give up. For us to give in and listen to the voices that said, you are never going to make it. You are never going to overcome. You're never going to make this. Yet in reality, those voices were not true. We indeed did make it. We did overcome. We had not lost too much ground. And it is from this place that I want to encourage you that in whatever struggle you are facing, to find your community, to have the will to persevere, and then to remember. Remember the Tims, who, in the face of difficulty, chose to persevere. Even when there was no evidence of success, we persevered. And that perseverance took us further than anyone imagined. And I guarantee you, you will be amazed at how far it will take you. Because you can do more than you think you can. And your race, as well, can be won. Thank you.
Big step.
I can't think of a more inspirational speech than that. That was beautiful. That was really nice. So we're gonna do something we haven't had a chance to do in a while, because actually it was only 2 females at that time. work up in the groups, so all the, and,
I've got something to do before we do that.
sure.
No, you stay.
Oh, okay. $1 million check I lost?
Christmas comes early sometimes. And just in case you don't recognize it, this is my way of wrapping Christmas presents. Yeah. If it fits in a bag, that's how it gets wrapped. But I found this online it's not really a Christmas present, but I found this online the other day and I thought you should have a copy of it.
This is live.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Be strong and steadfast.
Oh, nice.
366 devotionals for men. Now, y'all know I'm gonna be sending this, emailing this to y'all every morning for the next year. Oh my God, thank you, Pastor.
Praise God. Yes.
Thank you.
Now, I accidentally found this, I think on Amazon, but if you type Be Strong and Steadfast Devotional, you can have one of these too. Whatever they charge, I don't remember now. But I was just very thrilled to be able to get that for you. And I bought one for my brother-in-law in Indiana too. So he's got Parkinson's as well.
I actually have a sticker we're gonna send him.
Nice. Yeah, well, hopefully he won't just stick it in the middle of his forehead, although that might help, right?
Well, that is big enough, so I think put mine on the car.
That's right.
But before we end, what we're gonna do is something that we started off doing in the beginning. And like I said, we had, excuse me, 2 females back then, Pastor Matt's wife and Leroy's wife. And those are 2 females, but we're gonna separate and we're gonna let everybody with Parkinson's, and we have a young lady with Parkinson's over here. Then we're gonna, all everybody with Parkinson's come on this side of the room, and all the caregivers and wives. We don't, care partners, we don't use the word caregivers, we like the word care partners, because this is a partner, this is a community. One of the things I have to say is, from Pastor Matt to Naomi, to Leroy, to Joe, to Dirk, to Moochie, to, I'm really bad with names, can't even see that far. Bernice, to Mom. This group has become a family. It's become a community. And the stronger we are together. I don't know what happened to him, but Moochie actually was coming tonight. Mr. Moochie was actually coming tonight. We've been communicating and texting almost every other day, and I know he was looking forward to tonight, to this group. The Hispanic gentleman that came. Nabi. So he was really looking forward to it tonight. But I've already texted him twice, haven't heard back from him, so I will follow up and make sure he's okay. That's one of the things that a family do. When I'm at home, I get this little text message from Dirk. What are you doing? How you doing? I like sending emails to those that have emails. So before you leave, please leave your phone number and email. That way, if the weather's bad, and that's one of the main reasons, if the weather's bad, we can notify y'all and say, hey, the meeting's gonna be moved, because I can move it to any day we want. Now, before we separate, I wanted to bring something up. My throat is really dry, so please bear with me. I'm going to try to do this without spilling water. Yeah. You learn to do it fast. But Naomi brought up a really good point, and on the 14th, and I know we talked about this a couple of months back, on the 14th, Riverside, and I want to say something that, because we're also I'm also working with Riverside Therapy. And through Mr. Parker, he is the director of all the physical therapies for Riverside. Will Parker, I actually have his cell phone number, call him anytime I want. He's actually wanting to come and be a guest speaker at our group, talking about the importance of keeping moving. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, that physical therapy versus the OT therapy, big difference. I mean, I feel good. I can't wait for next summer, man. I think I got a 6-pack. I might have like a case right now. I'm working on that 6-pack. but no, y'all gonna find one of the things about me is I like to laugh and I like to hear people laugh.
Amen.
Because I'd rather laugh than be sitting there going to myself, another day while I embarrass myself trying to open that bottle of water. So, I mean, I look out and I see the community. I see the family. I see the love in the room. I feel the love. I didn't even expect that. And it actually has the name of the support group on it. What I'm trying to say is, I'm here for y'all 365 days out of the year. I don't care if it's morning, noon, or night. If you need to talk, call me. If you want to get out Saturdays, like this couple this man right here, when I said I'm at Yorktown Beach every Saturday, I don't think they believed me. And Leroy and his wife has been down there and with me on my birthday. But I get out because I'm not gonna sit around like a flower in a plant. There is too much to live for.
That's right.
We have done too much, like the gentleman said, we have accomplished so much in our lifetime. I know. That didn't come out. I know I have. And I look back over my life and I go, you know what? I did this. And I was on this presidential detail. Hey! So, that thought just went right up. I look back over my life and presidential details, and from Warner Robins to Fort Blix, and I mean, just and watching my children grow, and just I am not gonna let some silly named disease that half of the people don't even talk about. That I mean, when I found out April was National Parkinson's Awareness Month, I mean, who knew that? I mean, I knew Dirk did, but I mean, did anybody really know that? I didn't. For years, I mean, I was diagnosed in 2018, misdiagnosed 4 times, so they took it back to 2012. So from 2012 to 2018 to just a year, I just found out Parkinson's has an awareness month. These are the reasons why I started this group. To be a family, to the support of a loving. I gotta tell y'all something. Me and Mom was talking. Come up here, Mom. Come on, Mom. Me and Mom was talking, and I said, she said, do you have someone? And I said, no, because I can't find what I'm looking for. And I said, you know what I'm looking for? And I said, let me out here. I said, do you remember what your parents had? And she said, yes. I said, do you remember what your grandparents had? She said, yes. I said, if the crops didn't grow, if the cow didn't give any milk, if the chickens got ate by the dogs that didn't give any eggs, and the roof leaked in the bedroom, they were still in love. It didn't matter about the circumstances around them. It was about love. I can say this from this group. I see love. I see love. I see love. I see love. These companies, they just write the word love. But you don't see that these days. You don't. The first thing is, Mom, I got a friend. And we lean on others instead of leaning on Christ and leaning on the family. And we need to get back to leaning on Christ. Like Pastor Matt said, no sermons, but
Preach.
Yeah, you George, you can preach. That's all right. Although, George, I know you can preach as long as I can.
oh
so.
yeah, okay. But my thing is this. We gotta keep God first.
Amen.
We gotta overlook the can I see this with you before you came? No, I want to see you. I left my walk and said, we need to drop it. Come on up here, man. Stand beside me. You move. Come, lean on me. Come on, lean on me. Okay. I'm doing this. I just laugh at it. Let's laugh at it because that's what it needs to be. We need to lean on each other in these groups. We need to be strong for each other in these groups. We can have guest speakers all day long, but it's about this. Leroy, come on up here for a second. Come on up here, Dirk. Come on up here, Joe. Come on up here, man.
And by the way, it's okay to still be using the cane.
Well.
It look like a wave.
I want you to stand wherever you want to stand. This is what it's about. I see all y'all caregivers and wives, y'all should have ran out the back door right there. We all can't move that fast. But this is why Strong Fast was started. About the group, about the family, about the love. I mean, look at the smiles on everybody's face out there right now. This is what it's about. Moochie, thank you. Leroy, Joe.
Mamie.
Mamie?
Yeah.
And Dirk, I thank y'all, because I look forward to coming here every third Wednesday of the month. I look forward to it. And I can feel the shaking going through the body, but you want to know what? It might be that wave. But everybody kind of let go of everybody easy. and I'm going to help you back to your chair. But we need to laugh at stuff like that. We don't need to depend on. We need to look at God first and keep God first and remember God is always there. You know, I always remember something, and I'm just throw something at me if I get to preaching. God knew us before we was formed in our mother's womb.
That's right.
Now that's a whole sermon right there, because
Yes, sir.
if He knew us, then we had to be in His presence. But okay, I'm not going to go there. That's not the point I'm getting to. If He knew us before we was in our mother's womb, then He knew this affliction was going to come upon us, and He knew how we was going to handle it. That's the point I was getting to.
Amen.
Now, if He knew it, what we was going to go through, did we know how we was going to handle it? Like I said, I have Parkinson's. Matter of fact, I think I'm the only one in this room that have Parkinson's and Parkinsonitis, excessive tremors. So I have both. I was diagnosed with both. I was at Pastor Matt's church, second Sunday last month, and I said these words: I thank God for my Parkinson's. And I gave my sermon on compassion, and it's a point to this. And the third Sunday, he had a huge meeting about what the church is really about and getting back to the basics. And I walked in with my kids, with my walking stick, Everybody says, George, don't stop dropping because it might turn into a snake. So, hoping to stay tight, walking with it. And one of the ladies, and just to this day, I don't know what she has, but she said, I want to thank you. And I said, for what? And she said, because I never thought the affliction I had, to think of it as a blessing, I always thought of it as a curse. And I said, but if you think of it as a curse, then you're claiming it. But if you think it's a blessing, you're thanking God for what He gave you, where you and you and you and you and you and me can walk up to somebody else who has it, like Mr. Nami, who didn't make it for some reason. But every other day, I text that man to check on him, and text messages go deeper and deeper, and he's thanking me for just checking because he just started physical therapy, and he just found out he had Parkinson's, and his mind is going a million miles of directions.
Yes.
So he was just diagnosed, and he's not even from this country, and that Hispanic accent of his is just so strong. So I'm not gonna waste everybody's time, but I really like for all these, see, now we got the choir singing now. But for all those caregivers and care partners, and let me rephrase that, for all those wives and care partners that would like to get together and just scream. Punch your husband. I mean, no, I'm kidding. but don't look at it as, okay, I made the meeting tonight, and you know, it was a really good meeting. We had some good laughs. You know, I've learned a lot from that man right there, Joe. I'm telling y'all, this man right here is a walking encyclopedia. He makes all the meetings. He listens to everything online. He could probably get up and teach more about Parkinson's. I mean, one time we had him before most of y'all joined. I was picking up a jar off the floor. And now I go places and physical therapy and OT, and it's like, so you have Parkinson's? I was like, yeah. And there's like, how did you know? And I said, well, one of the first signs is you lose the smell. Where did I learn that from? It was him. My doctor didn't tell me that. I learned it. We can learn from each other. We can encourage each other. I said one word, think big. And he took a big step, but we all have to encourage each other every day. Otherwise, for Leroy, when Leroy was walking, I mean, Leroy was just taking no, shoot, Leroy walking better than me now. Shoot. And I ain't even gonna tell y'all, when we went to the Y and we got on the bike, and he put his on like 7 and I put mine on 3, then I had to put it on 2. He out pedaling me, and I'm like, okay, we ain't gonna bring this up again. But this is what the meetings is about, the smiles, the laugh, not the serious. I do not want to come to a meeting and be sitting in a chair talking, listening to somebody say, well, you have Parkinson's. And the medicine and the treatment is gonna, no, God and in laughter is gonna help more than the medicine. Getting in a pool and walking around on them toes, let me tell you, I took, please now, if you find a picture on Facebook, because I wear my do-rag so much, and all of this, I mean, my ex-wife called me and she said, George, you need sun. Because, man, your forehead and your head blinded the mess out of me in that pool. so, and then she reposted it on Facebook. My point is this. Went to the Y, got on the bike with Leroy. Went to the pool with Dirk. We need to continue this and work together. Now, one of the things I said in the beginning is, we ain't doing no exercises. I can show you all the stretches that my OT, but it might not be for Moochie, it might not be for Joe, it might not be for Dirk, it might not be for Leroy, it might not be for this young lady. What your doctors have told you is best for you, do it. I know so many people with Parkinson's, and all they want to do is, okay, I finished my therapy. A month later, I can barely move. I don't know why. My shaking's worse.
Working out is really important for
I work out every morning, in the evening, and before I go to bed. And I wake up feeling good. And like I said, I'm working on that 6-pack. But
I think it's becoming a K.
It's going down some.
I've lost 6.5 pounds since I saw you. I mean, salads and eating right and sleep. I'm sleeping better, and I just feel good. Got some little definition in the arm there, little tight little shirt there. Now let me quit. If you can't laugh at these meetings, something's wrong. Amen. We're gonna take a second and break up into groups. And before we leave, yes, ma'am.
I have one quick announcement.
Okay.
I forgot to mention earlier, we have a weekly newsletter that comes out every Sunday. So if you guys aren't on the newsletter, I'm happy to add you. It's a great way of knowing what we have going on at 8. You're on it already?
Add me.
Okay, so I'll find you guys after.
It's the same thing I said.
It's a great
Oh,
way.
it's the same thing you said?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
But
then I'm
it's
getting
nice
it then.
to be on it, so that when we have specific events or whatnot, or certain like newly diagnosed events that we have going on, just to have it on our database. But it comes out every Sunday. It's a great way of learning what we have going on. All of our events are free program-wise, so I would like to add you guys before this is over, so you can weekly newsletter.
Now, it was something I started, and I told you about the seminar. And I was talking about Joe listening and going to all these meetings. The 14th of next month is our picnic for Parkinson's. We all sat down and we picked the 14th. Riverside is having a huge symposium. Hopefully I said the word right. Our picnic is from 11 to 3. I've already set up the food.
The 14th, right?
The 14th of October. So many of us went to the walk up in Williamsburg. And that's why I go to the beach every Saturday, is to get out in the new environment. But we need to know more. We can actually, who knows, Leroy might start his own group. Dirk might start his own group. The thing about it is, and hopefully I said this right, Jesus picked disciples to go out and spread the word in doctor's offices and physical therapy and the Ys and the pools and everything, and teach them about what's going on to get them more knowledge. Because I never thought this. We're missing 3 people. We're missing 3. This group is growing, and we got some more females. So God is blessing us. God is blessing this little group, and it's growing. And like I said, we're still missing 3. But my point is this: who all wants to? And if we want to change the time of the picnic, we can do that. That's an option. I wanted to see, and because we all picked the 14th. Normally, I would pick a day and just do something, but it was a day everybody's free. So my question to the group is, if you want to go to the Riverside and here, that's fine. If you want to come here, that's fine. If you want to change the time, that's fine. We're a family.
11 to 3, I think the symposium starts at 12:30. You could come here for
Yeah. They'll come, grab a plate, get something to eat, and then be to the Riverside, or we could come here at 10, and, cause the food's gonna be already ready. As soon as Naomi mentioned it to me, I've made some adjustments, so it's not gonna be like, okay, we gotta cook the food. Food's gonna be already ready. I already put in the order for the food, the whole 9 yards. We're having chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs, potato salad. And again, if anybody wants to bring their specialty, what was that dish y'all was talking about with the the bread and I don't know. But if you want to bring something, you're more than welcome. If your specialty is pasta salad, bring a pasta salad. So I mean, you know, and then we all could go to the Riverside as a group and wear our strong steadfast and walk in as a group.
Right.
Yeah, man. See, I'm liking this idea a little bit better.
Could you do the picnic from 10 to 12? I mean,
Well, I still get up at 4:30 every morning. I could be here at 8 o'clock and we can turn it instead of a lunch, instead of
we're gonna have a breakfast picnic.
a breakfast picnic. Or now it ends at 4. Well, after we leave Riverside, we can have a early dinner. So it's really up to y'all. We have options. So
This is an example probably of where we all be using APDA as a clearinghouse for events, so we don't conflict with each other, because that's definitely not our purpose. We're trying to all work together, as you say. So that, as a clearinghouse kind of concept, that would work with y'all, right?
Well, I guess, so this isn't our event.
I understand, but it's in the community, and you all know,
Yeah.
because I hope everybody's letting you know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, our goal, you know, we all want to be inclusive. We want to go to our purpose here is just to provide education, community, you know, all the above. So I would like to be, you know, at a point where we can just all have events kind of happening, you know, out of the way so that we can have these events that are happening at the same time. So I guess moving forward, you know, I'll always let you know, George, if we have events on the APDA side so that we're not, you know, conflicting, because we want everyone to be able just to come to everything and learn and, you know, and have communion and still eat and educate at the same time. So
Well,
I'll make that my goal.
and I'll make that goal because the date, October 14th, was picked like maybe a month and a half back. And we picked that date way, I want to say like July sometime, possibly. So we had already planned, but again, I mean, we can keep the same time because I know like this lovely couple's gonna take a cruise. I know Leroy and his lovely wife had plans, so we picked that date for a reason. But again, we can have a early lunch or late dinner. The food's ordered. The food was the easy part.
What about dinner? So that you guys could go to the education and then you guys can come back here and eat after and then go home.
I agree.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, let's make it a majority. I mean, Leroy, how do y'all?
And what time is the speech?
That's from 12:30 to 1604.
And when I get your email, I can send you the flyer just so you guys have like the correct details and whatnot. But it's about 10 minutes away. It's about 15 minutes.
Oh, you gotta register?
It's free though, but yeah.
Yeah, it's free.
but they wanted you to register.
Well, what we could do is register as a group and still wear those strong and steadfast shirts. Can you register as a group?
I mean, I can register you. I mean, whatever you guys need, I'm happy to. If you want me to do it as a group, I can put in like 15 people or 20 people or whatnot, and you got, you know, however you want to do it. Like we know the people who are leading here and whatnot, so whatever's easier for you.
I think if we register individually, do they have then kind of tell you what's happening for the day?
Yeah, I'm not sure they're gonna send out like a reminder email. Like I'm not sure how they're individually, you know, doing it or whatnot. Because it's not we're just partnering with them for it. But
No, we could forward. We could forward the email or announcement.
Okay, because actually, you sent me a copy, but you can resend it.
Yeah, or I can get. I have your contact information. I have Miss Bernie's contact information. I just don't have the front, so I can just send out a personal email with just the flyer, the registration link to everybody here.
Okay.
And you guys can just register how you want to register, and then you know, then everyone's on the same page.
And do y'all wanna do the dinner afterwards? Because, I mean, okay, so so that's the plan now, and, please, when everybody get Riverside, we're out the strong Steadfast shirts.
So we go to the lecture first, and then we'll come here?
Yes.
So when the lecture's done, what time is that? It's not gonna mess up with your food, it's gonna.
No, cause
Okay.
I'm picking up the food, so
Okay.
I probably leave the lecture probably about Riverside to keep to food line, pick up the food. I probably leave a little early, that way when y'all get here, everything's set up like a buffet, and everybody can sit down and eat.
Everybody's information, so we can give it to Naomi. Do
Well,
we have anything?
well, normally we have the sheet out there, that's what Nicholas Victoria said. So what I can do is get a piece of paper and we can pass it around and everybody can put their information on for Naomi. That way,
You said this is bring something to eat too?
if you want to, I've already taken care of all the food. I've taken care of the chicken, the burgers, the hot dogs, the baked beans. Now, I'm fixing the baked beans, y'all, and this is a secret recipe. I think y'all are gonna really enjoy my baked beans. I'm just gonna set that up front, okay?
They're gonna be better than what you had 2 weeks ago?
What did I have 2 weeks ago? Oh, yeah, you want me to say my baby's better than your mother, and she's sitting right there? You trying to get me in trouble?
She didn't cook them.
Oh, you cook?
I think my brother and sister cooked
Oh,
them.
okay. But I got a really special
Oh, okay,
recipe.
okay.
Again, this is why we, again, come to the group, because even though I started it, it's a family. And that's why I wanted to I'm looking forward to coming. And like I said, if I could change the time, which we have, so everything worked out, so everybody get a chance to go there and then come here and have a nice meal. And, again, for those that want to just get away with Miss Sharon and Gail and Jennifer and, Mom and Joe's wife, Carol, I ain't got my glasses, so, and just get a time for the wives and the caregivers to kind of just talk for a couple of minutes before we end in prayer, and, I think I've said enough. Pastor Matt heard me preach, so he knows I can go long. So I'm gonna sit down for a second because I don't feel my left foot, and I'm gonna get my water first.
Yeah.
Because I think I've exerted a lot of energy already. And before I forget, there's one other thing. For those that came late, and we came up with, and I said it was Sheriff Ron Montgomery and Strong and Steadfast. To me, we've made a strong accomplishment, and not just in the community, but we've came up with a parking sticker. Now, York County Parkinson Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Ron Montgomery has already told me that Gloucester, Newport News, Hampton, and Portsmouth is already requesting these. So anybody in those cities have this sticker on, the police will know that somebody in that vehicle has Parkinson's. So I passed out, y'all, let me get, how many vehicles do you have?
Free pass and get ticket or nothing like that?
I wish.
Only if you go fast enough that they can't catch you.
That is true. Look, how many vehicles do you have?
Two.
There you go. And Leroy, and how many vehicles do you have? And Sharon, this is for your brother. Send that to him from me. Also, Naomi was nice enough to provide us with, I'm not even gonna try to reach that.
Nope.
This card goes in your wallet or your billfold. I don't know how many of y'all have this. I have one in my wallet, but it basically says you have Parkinson's.
I'm not drunk.
You're not drunk.
Right.
Make the joke.
I like that. I like that.
Drunk, so I don't know who has one of these.
I think John has, he has one, he has one.
Oh, yeah.
He does. But he used to be.
Okay. Again, we have been provided with plenty of literature, magazines, from the APDA. Please help yourself with that great knowledge back there. If the ladies don't want to get together and spend about 5 minutes together, who wants to get away from their husband for like 5 minutes? See, I think y'all just trying to be nice right now.